It has been quite a few days since I last recorded a video. There's been a lot going on, but I picked up some books along the way. Some books I probably won't cover, but this one I want to cover. It's Wolverine #2. And I enjoyed this book as much as I enjoyed that first one. I think it's a decent showing. I'm not going to tell you again. Let me tamper your expectations a little bit. I'm not telling you that this story is mind blowing. I'm not telling you that it's the most compelling story you've ever read, but it's good to see books put out by Marvel that are just good. I don't need the most mind blowing thing ever. I just need good. So, anyway, we're going to get into this Wolverine #2. Oh, yeah, check out my sweet Mario pad that I got on here now. Yes, I love me some Mario. I was always a Sega guy, but you know, Nintendo ate their lunch, Sony ate their lunch, Sega got out of the console game, and now they're just making games, pretty much working for Nintendo. Kind of funny. Anyway, the writer is Saladin Ahmad, the artist Martin Cuculo, colorist Brian Valenza, letterer VC Corey Petty. And the book opens up with Logan at this range in Canada. And he's going over the fact that he's been to many different worlds and he's seen worlds with 2 suns, 3 suns, but there's nothing like watching the sunrise. And I believe it was the sunrise. Sunrise in Canada on this range. As a matter of fact, I'll read the dialogue because I just think it's good. I think things like this are a nice touch. You can tell that the artist kind of really got into the mind of Logan, so to speak. He says, I've seen 3 times as many sunrises as most folks. Watch the sunrise on planets with more than one sun. Witness suns getting snuffed out. But the way the sun comes up in this part of Canada, not far from where I grew up, well, there ain't nothing like it in the universe. And he's the one to speak. He's been to different places in the universe. Now, if you're familiar with what happened, the last book, he got into an altercation and Nightcrawler got injured. And the assailant got away. Wolverine, of course, went to tend to Nightcrawler. And he's kind of reminiscing, or not reminiscing, he's going over those events at this moment. And then what does he see? Some agents in the woods looking for him because they believe he is the culprit that killed some campers and some other people. And of course, we know it wasn't Wolverine that did it, but he's being framed for it. And these men, or at least one of them, seem to have a vendetta against Wolverine. They want to find him. Now, a bunch of these agents, Wolverine kind of points this out as they're trying to search for him. He can tell that they're rookies, they're novice, because they're trusting all their tech and all their gear, and they're thinking that's going to get them there. This is going to help them find Logan. And he points out the fact that, man, these dudes don't trust their instincts. But there's a woman amongst them that's pretty good at tracking, and Logan can tell. And he pretty much says throughout this interaction, if there's anyone that can find me, it'll be this woman right here. So he goes in, to some more internal monologue, and he's like, okay, I'm going to slow down my heart rate, and I'm going to make it incredibly hard for them to find me. And then he said, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to follow them. So the whole time they're looking for him, he's following them, but then he catches the scent of something, and he recognizes that scent. Wolverine seldom ever, if ever, is afraid. And I'm not necessarily saying that you see him afraid here. You definitely don't see him afraid, but you can tell he's like, oh, this is not good. And it is Wendigo. And he's like, oh man. Now, for you who don't know, this is a curse, the Wendigo. Um, and the curse comes from eating human flesh, and then you turn into this monster. And you'll get into a little bit of the backstory of this Wendigo. Now, he notices as he's fighting. Now, first of all, let me say, I am really happy that there's Wolverine comics where you see Wolverine as a savage, and he's drawn very well. The artists that they have on this Wolverine book, and of course, Greg Capullo. I mean, come on, dude's a superstar. They got him on Wolverine Revenge. Great book. And the art here is really good. I mean, I enjoy it. So anyway, I like the fact that they're getting into the savage element of Wolverine. You see him going up against Wendigo, and he notices, he's like, yo, I barely beat Wendigos when I faced them before, like barely. Like, it's very hard to take these things down. They're bloodthirsty. They smell blood. They want it. They just want to eat you. And he's like, yo, it feels like the Wendigo is holding back, but I don't understand. So he's trying to wrap his brain around that while having this battle right here. Now, Wendigos never say anything but their own name, Wendigo. But as he's battling, he's getting ready to go for the kill. He's like, yo, something doesn't seem right. What is going on? And the Wendigo says, help. So he's like, help? What the heck? What is going on? So this throws him off guard. And you see the Wendigo kind of run off. But Wolverine notices he's not really running off. I think he's trying to lead me to something. So he follows. He's trying to figure out what's happening. And he leads him to this, it looks like a cabin. And there's a book, there's a diary. And he's like, what the heck is this? What's going on? And he's kind of thinking about how the X-Men accepted him being the savage that he is. Look, Wolverine, the dynamic thing about Wolverine is the dude is hardcore, but he does have a heart. Like, there's something about Wolverine where he sees the plight of different people that are downtrodden, and he doesn't like bullies. This is what I love about Wolverine, but man, he is a savage. Anyway, he reads this diary. He finds out these kids escaped from this home. They were trying to make it. Some people helped them. They got to this area in the woods, this cabin. It's freezing. They haven't had food. They're about to die. One of the young men passes out, and then the young man that's still up does the unthinkable. He eats the young man that passed out, fell asleep. He was gone. He was dying. And so this is where he got the curse of the Wendigo. And this is how he turned into the beast. So he doesn't know what's going on. He is thirsting for blood. He wants flesh, but he wants help. The kid inside is trying to get help. So Logan's like, okay, I'm going to help you. So now they notice these agents have now come up on this log cabin. And Logan's like, I got to get this kid out of here, because if this kid interacts with these agents, it is going to be a absolute bloodbath. This is not going to go well. All of those agents are going to die. They don't realize that Wolverine is actually protecting them. So he tells the Wendigo, all right, come on, we got to run. And he's trying to keep him from the bloodlust that he has. And he's like, look, just run. I will catch up. So Logan, and this is things like this. I actually like this in a story, right? It's like it's a plot device, but a plot device that works. Logan can't cut these dudes because he's like, if the Wendigo even gets a whiff of blood, it's going to be over. So he is attempting to take these dudes out without drawing any blood. So that's got to be hard for him, but Wolverine's a skilled dude. So they're running through the woods. There's, helicopter search parties. They're getting away. They think it's all good, but Wolverine smells something. And I love this. I love Wolverine's sense of smell. There's somebody hurt, injured, and he's like, oh my goodness, oh no. The Wendigo smells it, and he yells out, Wendigo. And now he's going down to get his pound of flesh. He jumps down, looks like they're on this hill, and he gets down there, and there's a kid who is injured, and Wendigo sees blood, and he's going for it. And you see Wolverine in the background looking down on a little like rock cliff, a little rock face there, and it says to be continued. Like I said, this is a good book. It wasn't very long. It was kind of short. There wasn't much to it, but sometimes I like these stories that are just like in between a greater story arc, like just a random fun story. And I think this was a fun story. You got to see some of the savagery of Wolverine. They didn't, go too hard trying to throw too much into the story, but you got just enough to keep you entertained. I think this is good comic book writing, good comic book art, and a good comic book overall if you're interested. Wolverine #2.